You guys asked for it, and we are delivering 25 more key books, but even more affordable.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Guy Wozniak. You're watching the Comic Book Guy channel, and we are the Comic Book Guys. Joined with me, as always, is my good friend and co-host, Matt.
Hey.
Now, we did a video that performed pretty well, got a lot of views. Mm-hmm. Very happy about that. Thank you. Called
pretty popular, yeah.
Yeah, 25 affordable key comics is more or less what the title was. And some people, not many, but some people said that like our price limit of $250 was too high. So we said, let's make a micro key or even more affordable key comics video, and that's what we got for you today.
Yeah, the constraints we had on it was it's going to be $100 or less. But we have books on here that are under $100 or under, that say is a 9.6. But if you want to find a cheaper one, you absolutely can. You just need to go down a couple of grades.
Yeah.
You know, a 9.0 book looks great. An 8.0 book is going to have some issues, but it's still going to present well. So if that's what you need to, slash your price to, then do it. Absolutely.
All right, well, let's dive right into it, and I'll let Matt kick it off after a quick word about our 10,000 subscriber giveaway. One of you will win this collection of Wolverine comics when the channel hits 10,000 subscribers. This is the 1982's Wolverine miniseries, issues 1 through 4 from the legendary team of Frank Miller and Chris Claremont. So let's keep it real simple. If you want to win these books, do two things. First, be sure to subscribe to the channel, because only subscribers are eligible for this giveaway. Second, when we hit 10,000 subscribers, I will post the giveaway announcement video. You have to see this video to find out who will win, so make sure that you have notifications turned on, because you don't want to miss that. Now let's get back to the discussion.
All right, first up is Wolverine number 66. It is the first issue of the Old Man Logan storyline, and it's going to be the first appearance of Old Man Logan. So yeah, this is a really good book. You can get a 9.8 for about $100. So that's pretty affordable. That's a nice book for a really good storyline. Old Man Logan is, if you haven't read it, read it. It's really good.
Can you explain how that book is still $100 or less at a 9.8? I mean, that feels like that book should be more valuable, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think what it was it is oversaturation in the market. There's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of variant covers too.
Okay.
Which, some of them are pretty cool, and I'm guilty. I bought a few of them myself just because they look so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely a pretty affordable book.
Number 2, what I have here is X Factor, number 1, the 1986 series, first appearance of X Factor, which, I mean, X Factor is just the X-Men, right? It's just Cyclops and Marvel Girl, Iceman, Beast and Angel, but still, it is, I believe, a key book. You can pick up a 9.8 for around $80, plus or minus a few dollars. And then, of course, like Matt said, $80 still a lot of money. Of course it is. I mean, it's not like lunch money. $80 matters. Get an ungraded raw copy. I mean, I saw those going on eBay for $15, $20, $25, and never really know the difference between an ungraded near mint and a 9.8 in reality. Yeah,
I think this is a key book. Absolutely. It represents you got the core team of original X-Men are back.
Yep.
They have a whole different, this is a whole new different direction for the team. I think they start off as, they are mutant hunters, and they're after mutants. So that's how they get people to call them in. Hey, I sighted a mutant, and they're going to go out there as the mutant hunters, and they're going to capture them. But what they're really doing is they're going to help these mutants.
Yeah.
That's their whole plan. And it was a really cool concept, a really good idea. It was unique.
Cool new costumes too, right? I mean,
oh yeah, don't forget that Beast's brown costume. Oh, how good did that look?
I don't remember it looking real great now that I think
terrible.
About it. But
brown. That only works on Wolverine. Sorry.
But yeah, that's our number 2 pick. It is X Factor number 1. Pick it up for about $80 or less.
Our number 3 book is going to be G.I. Joe number 1.
Great pick. I got to say, I wish I would have thought of that one.
Yeah. That's from 1982. It introduces all the Joes, and what's really cool about that is you only start off with a few of the Joes, but then over time, the series slowly introduces the new members to the team. Mm-hmm. So you don't get all this confusion. There's like 50 G.I. Joe members, So it only starts off with a handful and lets you get to know those characters. So you know who they are, you recognize them in the book, and then it slowly expands the team until you start, learning all these new people, and it follows it pretty quickly. Like Game of Thrones.
Oh,
They bombard you with all these characters. You can't keep track of who the hell everybody is. G.I. Joe is so well written that it slowly introduces them so you don't lose anything. But yeah, you can buy an 8.0 for about $100. And like I said, an 8.0 still is a good looking book. That's what I have at home. I have an 8.0. It's signed by, Larry Hama, and again, it's an 8.0. I don't care. I love that book. Signed by Larry Hama.
I mean, I specifically target 8.0 books when I'm looking for stuff just because I can save a ton of money and it still looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it's an 8.0 is a very presentable book, and it's going to look great in your collection.
All right. So as you can tell, we're just kind of bouncing back and forth. The even numbers are my picks and the odd numbers are Matt's picks. So number 4, my pick, my second pick is X-Men number 1, 1991 Jim Lee special. People are going to say that's not a key book. I can already predict the comments. And here's my rationalization for why that is a key book. Because it sold 8 million copies and it was a cultural icon. And if something is so culturally significant, even if nothing specifically happened in the book that maybe was like a first appearance or a death of a character, I think it's still a key. Do you agree or disagree?
I would agree that's a key book. Yeah, they made a cajillion of these things. There's so many out there. You can get it pretty cheap. But that cover, that Jim Lee cover, that wraparound cover, or if you bought the separate ones, they all connect.
Yeah.
Ooh, man. I had every one of the covers. I had the wraparound and every individual cover.
I still have all 5 of them.
Yeah, awesome.
Now, price-wise, don't let me forget about that. 9.8s are going for $70. Ungraded, you can get the whole 5-issue set for probably $20 or $25. Great value for money, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think if it's a cover and you see it on posters and T-shirts, yeah, that's a key. They're even making little statues of recreating the characters on that cover in those poses.
The McFarlane Toys are doing it, right?
McFarlane. Yeah. He's doing those.
Those are awesome little statues.
Yeah, McFarlane has come out with, so far he has, I think, 5 of them now. You got the Cyclops and Wolverine and Magneto, and he just came out with Colossus and Beast from that cover. So the others are to follow.
They're the 10th scale littler ones? Or
the smaller ones.
Yeah.
But I've already got them set up in my display case, so I'm recreating the cover.
That's cool.
Yeah, when it's complete, I'll post a photo. All right, number 5, we have Spectacular Spider-Man number 27 from 1979. So we're going back a little bit.
Yeah, that's as old as I am. I was born in 79. That's getting dangerously close to 50 years old.
It's Spectacular Spider-Man number 27. And what that book represents, it's the first time Frank Miller had a published artwork of Daredevil. So that book is, if you want a 9.8, you're paying for it. That's pricey.
Yeah.
It's the first time Frank Miller ever drew Daredevil that was published. So yeah, you're going to have to go down a little bit. You can get a 9.0 for about $90.
There's no shame in a 9.0. No shame at all.
Or even lower.
I mean, raw, go get a fine copy. I bet you they're super affordable in a very fine condition raw.
Yeah, and that's absolutely a key book. It's his first artwork, and if you look at the graded books, it even notes that on the banner on top.
Does it? That's interesting. They make that distinction. So it's that important of an event that CGC and the other grading companies.
His Daredevil run is iconic.
How long after this until he started doing Daredevil?
Oh, it wasn't until years later.
85, 86, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so quite a few.
Early to mid-80s, yeah.
Still very cool to have his first Daredevil work, even if it isn't a Spectacular Spider-Man book.
Yeah.
Our number 6 pick is going to be New Mutants Annual number 2 from 1985. And that is the significance of that book. First Psylocke, I guess, technically. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a little bit of debate. Betsy Braddock appeared in some other book long before this. This is the first time the name Psylocke was used, if I'm not mistaken. It's a cool book, though. Pretty cover. 9.6. I broke the rule by $5. And the reason why is because you could always get something lower grade. But if you're willing to stretch that budget by $5, you can get a 9.6 for $105. If you don't want to spend more than $100, get a 9.4. You get 9.4s for $85 or $90. New Mutants Annual number 2, first Psylocke. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, she's Captain Britain's sister. And in her first appearance, she's a powered mutant. you know. And she has this little pink costume, and her power presents itself as like they look like little butterflies around her ears. So they were definitely going for the cutesy angle there. But she still had the purple hair.
She changed a little bit over the years.
Yeah.
But probably for the better, but still. So that's going to be the number 6 pick. And we'll move on to number 7.
All right. Number 7 on the list is going to be Transformers number 8. Yes, number 8. From 1985. That's the first appearance of the Dinobots.
The Dinobots. Have the Dinobots been in a movie? I think they have, right?
Well, they were on the TV show, the cartoon, the original cartoon.
Sure, but then,
who doesn't remember Grimlock? That guy. Oh, Grimlock was fantastic. I loved him.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you can get a 9.6 for about $100. So again, first, printed appearance of the Dinobots for like $100 at a 9.6, which was a pretty high grade.
Speaking of Grimlock, I saw this thing. It was an unboxing of a ginormous, just like take up the whole screen here.
Yes.
Grimlock that like transformed and walked around and made noises and flashing lights and everything. That was badass.
That is so cool. Yeah, I think they have a Megatron, a Dinobot, and an Optimus.
Oh, they have all of them?
They have those 3.
Wow.
I've seen those. But the Megatron, he transforms into a tank.
But he's not supposed to be a tank.
He was a gun.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that he would transform.
And then Starscream would grab him.
I think maybe Starscream did, but it was Soundwave.
Oh, Soundwave?
Because, Soundwave was always his loyal lieutenant,
Sure.
And he was the one that would usually grab him and to shoot, But they made him into a tank, which, I get it. He's going to have him transform into a gun and he's going to lay there. That's not very fun. But yeah, Dinobots. First Dinobots. 9.6 for about $100.
All right. Number 8 on the list, and my 4th pick, Amazing Spider-Man number 298. What is the significance of this book? Well, first of all, first Todd McFarlane artwork on Amazing Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite artist, Todd McFarlane. This is a key through and through. I don't believe there was any sort of Venom cameo in this. I think that was issue 299. So you're not getting anything else super special with it.
Mm-hmm.
But what else do you need? That was like the beginning of an era of all of the celebrity artists like taking over the Marvel universe with Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Jim Lee, all these guys. You know what I mean? Like that was the beginning of it. Awesome book. 9.4. Again, I broke the budget by $5, $105. If you want to save that extra $5, get a 9.2 or get a raw copy. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 298 from 1988. That is my first Spider-Man one. I think I have a couple of Spider-Mans on this list, actually, but that's probably my favorite.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
You love your Spider-Man, man.
That I certainly do. All
right, for number 9, I have Alpha Flight number 1 from 1983. Now, this isn't the first appearance of Alpha Flight because they first appeared in the X-Men books.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they first appeared in the X-Men, I want to say 109.
Oh, long time ago.
Yeah. Wow. They've been around for a while. But this issue, you first see, this is the first Puck and Marina. Okay. It's their first appearance. The others you'd already seen before in the X-Men books. But yeah, you can get a number 1 for about $85.
And 9.8.
Yeah, and a 9.8 for about $85. So this is, if you're going to buy a cheaper one, you're going to get them for what I think is a steal because I loved Alpha Flight.
You are a big Alpha Flight fan. I'm not saying it's bad, but as a young collector and reader, I never once was like, oh, the Canadian guys, I want to read that. It just never happened.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have no special love for Canada or anything. I'm not Canadian. I'm not from there.
Yeah.
I loved what made me really love the Alpha Flight books was the John Byrne artwork, of course.
Well, there is maple syrup coursing through your veins, though, right? Maybe not.
Probably not. No. But I love the John Byrne artwork on the first, I think, 24 issues. And the fact that they kill off the leader of the team early on was nuts to me. Yeah, they kill him off in issue 12, which was nuts to me.
Like kill, or does he come back immediately?
Well, he came back like years later, but it was a while. He was gone for a long time, and they retconned that, and they made some changes, and now he's back, and maybe he's dead again. I don't know.
That's the guy with the white suit with the red kind of maple
Yeah,
leaf
really
thing.
cool. Like, yeah, he's got the white and red outfit with the maple leaf on one side. It looks like the Canadian flag.
Yeah.
Really cool character design.
That is a cool character.
I mean, it looks really good. But yeah, what I love mostly about Alpha Flight was they're not part of like the main Marvel, continuity. Well, I mean, they are, I'm sorry, but they're in Canada. So they have a whole different set of enemies that they're fighting. They're not fighting like the Shocker, or any of the villain, the Avengers villains or anything like that, like Count Nefaria or any
Magneto.
Magneto.
Yeah.
They're not fighting them. They're dealing with Canadian problems. So they came up with all these new Canadian villains and enemies that they have to fight, which were completely unique and new, and was just so much fun reading that stuff. And I love Box. Box is probably one of my favorites. I love Box.
So my fifth pick and number 10 overall is Batman number 428. That is the death of Jason Todd. It is part 3 in Death in the Family, if I'm not mistaken, or is it part 4? Pretty sure it's part 3. But regardless, you can get that issue in a 9.6 grade for about $75. I personally would recommend buying the whole 4-issue story arc ungraded so you can read it. You can pick that whole 4-issue story up for probably around the same price as a $75 9.6 grade of just this book. But I think of that run, the actual death of Jason Todd's probably the most key issue of the run. Famously, they had the solicitation to call and vote on whether they were going to kill Robin or not. And just a cool story, great artwork. I think the guy that did Hellboy, didn't he do those covers? What's his name? Mig something?
Mike Mignola?
Yeah, he did the covers of those 4 books. I don't think he did the interior artwork, but beautiful classic covers. Great book, Batman. There's not many Batmans that I personally have in my collection, but that story arc, the Year One story arc, the Batman Hush story arc, those are all of the ones that I collect.
Now, that seems pretty low for such an iconic, event.
It does seem low. And by the way, if anyone's wondering, the way I was pricing my books is by using the gpanalysis.com website, which aggregates all of the sales data from eBay and probably other places as well. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the right price, and I don't know why it's so cheap at $75.
What I'm thinking did this used to be more valuable before they brought him back as the Red Hood?
Oh, I don't know. Probably, but I was out of comics for a long enough period of time where I don't know if it spiked up and came back down.
It seems to be one of those cases where, this event, it was probably, I want to guess and say it was probably more expensive. But since they brought him back and he's not dead anymore, so that event really doesn't have as much impact. But I mean, it did lead him to becoming the Red Hood. But yeah, I could see this being one of those, because I've seen it before where they have like the death of a Captain America. That book was crazy expensive when it first came out.
Or the death of Superman.
But I knew he's not dead. They're going to bring him back.
Yeah.
Same thing, Death of Superman. Of course they were going to bring him back. I mean, duh.
When that happened, I don't know, what was I, 10, 11, 12 years old, something like that. I thought that was real. I was like, oh my God, how could they kill Superman?
Yeah.
Like, DC's going to go out of business.
Yeah, but yeah, when either of those events, when they first happened, those books were crazy expensive. But of course, it's going to die down because they're bringing them back. And so I'm wondering if this is probably the case here. I would guess that it is.
Probably. But Batman 428, that's my pick at number 10.
All right, for number 11, I have Wolverine number 8 from 1989. This is the first original Wolverine ongoing series. And this is that iconic Wolverine as Patch and Joe, the Hulk is Joe Fixit, his Joe Fixit persona in their white tuxedo jackets, on the cover, Logan's, leaning against the gray Hulk.
There's a set, and I keep flirting with buying them, of Marvel Legends action figures.
Yes, I've seen those.
Of those two.
Of those two, recreating the cover. I mean, I don't think you can get their pose just perfect, but close enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do sell those as a set, those 2 figure sets. But yeah, just an iconic cover. It's one of the more expensive books in the Wolverine run, just because of the cover and, really good John Buscema art. But yeah, you can get a 9.0 for about $85. I'm sorry, $95. Yeah,
not bad.
So again, a 9.0, nice, solid looking book for $95.
Yeah. And this is going to be, I bet, one of those books where, like, if you tried to buy a raw copy in that range, you're probably going to get fooled into spending too much. Like, I'll bet you're better off buying an 8.5 or a 9 than buying a mid-grade raw copy, price-wise. I can't back that up, but what I've seen happen a lot is people will sell a book that looks like it's about an 8 or a 9, and people will overpay for it, hoping to get it graded and, hit it big. Whereas if you just buy the already graded book, you would have spent less money.
I actually lucked out and found mine. I have a copy of it. I bought it raw in a comic shop, and I got it for $5.
Like recently or 30 years ago?
No, this was pretty recently. This was when I went up to Jacksonville last month.
Wow.
That was simply because I don't think they realized what they had. What they had is they had a whole section of books that were like the first Wolverine run. Of course, number 1 was, they didn't even have that. That was gone. But they had like all these books in the series, and they were all priced the same. So I don't think they didn't bother to do they probably looked at the first few and said, oh, okay, these are only a couple bucks. So they marked them all the same.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what they did.
When you're dealing with thousands and thousands of books, I'm sure it happens all the time.
Or maybe they bought someone's entire collection and they just got tired of looking everything up individually, and they just priced it. They used a pricing gun, and priced everything. Or maybe just snuck through the cracks. But yeah, I paid $5 for that. And you can make those finds, man. Absolutely. You got to do your digging, man.
For sure. All right. Well, let's jump in to number 12. My 6th pick for the list, Spider-Man 2099, number 1 from 1992. It is the, first standalone series and the origin of Spider-Man 29, Miguel O'Hara. You could pick up a 9.8 of this book for $90, which means if you wanted to just get any old random copy, you're going to find this book all day long for $10 to $20.
Yeah.
That is, not a super key. It's probably never going to be worth $1,000 or anything. But, not the first appearance of 2099 Spider-Man. Correct. But still, origin, first issue of an ongoing series. I think that qualifies, and not a bad price at all.
No, that's really reasonable for what you're getting. And yeah, when those 2099 books came out, I bought all of them.
Oh, who didn't?
Yeah, they were very cool.
The red foil cover.
Yes.
That was a banger of a comic book back in the day.
I still have my X-Men 2099 full run by Ron Lim. Man, you talk about a good read. Yeah, that was good stuff. X-Men 2099. And they even had a couple of the covers were foil. Like the color on the foil was different.
Was it?
On the variants. Yeah, I bought them all. I loved it. Those things were really good. But yeah, Spider-Man 2099 number 1. That's a solid book. It was definitely a good series to read.
And if you're into building runs, I'm pretty sure, I haven't price checked this, so don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure if you're into building runs, you can build out a big chunk of this run for a very small amount of money.
Yeah.
Nothing in this run is like a super high-end first appearance collectible that I'm aware of. So, a great number 1 to own in your collection. And if you want to, have a cool series to read, I recommend checking it out.
Yeah, and pick up some of the others from the 2099 series. Those were a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, Matt's number 13.
Oh, for 13, we have Young Avengers number 1 from 2005. This was the first issue of the series, and introduced you to all the Young Avengers.
I'm going to challenge you. Who were all the Young Avengers? Can you name the whole team?
Well, you got Hawkeye, the Kate Bishop one, who they just recently put in that Hawkeye show.
Yep.
Iron Lad.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Hulkling, who was a half Skrull, I think. I never read it myself.
I'm challenging him because I don't know if I would have been able to name even this far. So I know
Patriot.
Was Nova, wasn't it?
Wiccan? No. Yeah, Wiccan.
Wiccan? Okay. That's Scarlet Witch's son, right?
And the other one was, I think his brother was it Speed?
He was a speedster.
He had, super speed. But I think his name was just Speed, I think. I remember it was pretty lackluster. Remember, really? That's the name you give him?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was them. I think that's all of them. And Kate Bishop, of course, was Hawkeye.
Yep. But what you got here, price-wise?
You can get 9.6 for about $40.
Not bad. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. But if you want a 9.8, it's just a scotch over the line. It's about 110 to 120 for a 9.8. And that's a pretty significant price difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8, which sometimes you see.
Well, 40 to 110. I mean, $70. That's quite significant.
Yeah. But yeah, first appearance of these characters, it might go up depending on what they do with like the characters, if they put them into a TV show or a movie. So that could jump up, definitely, unless they do it and they just do a terrible job at it, which seems to be the trend.
That could definitely happen
right now. But yeah, you could see a jump in price if they actually do something, and who knows, maybe they'll do a good job.
I'm not going to hold my breath.
I won't either.
And I'm going to jump on to number 14. My 7th pick on the list and number 14 overall, Spawn, number 9 from 1993. The first appearance of Angela. You can get a 9.8 of that book for $75. I mean, get raw copies for $10.
Yeah.
It's it was a weird book when it came out in that, like, I think Todd McFarlane had to take a break from the series for a minute, and Neil Gaiman is actually who wrote that and created Angela, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah, I did read an article about it because it was interesting.
And then it was in litigation for many, many years over the ownership of that character.
Neil Gaiman, actually, he won the case or whatever. Maybe they settled. I'm not 100%. It was a while ago since I read about it. And then he sold the rights of Angela over to Marvel. So for a minute, this book was on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, it was hella expensive. Compared to now anyway. So yeah. But then they bring her over to Marvel and they do squat with her, in true Marvel fashion.
Did they even? I don't even remember the ownership transferring to Marvel. Did they even actually put her in anything? Or?
Yeah. They made her like into Thor's sister.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
Weird one.
Dumb. All right. For number 15 is Uncanny X-Men number 201 from 1986. That's the first appearance of Nathan Summers, the child of Madeline and Scott, who later becomes Cable. You can get a 9.8 for about $50.
When I was printing this out, I thought that was a typo. $50 for that book at 9.8?
No.
You can't even get that book graded for $50.
Now, before I get all the comments like, oh, there's no way you could. No. You can go on eBay right now and find a buy it now one. I just checked earlier today for $80. That's a buy it now 9.8. The $50 one, I've seen 2 books, 9.8, sold in auctions for $50.
And that's the real price that people should be looking at, is what did it sell when it was open for bidding, the highest bidder wins.
Yes.
Those are like the numbers you're looking for.
I saw 2 auctions for the same book at 9.8 for $50. And you can even go on there now and, like I said, buy it 9.8 for buy it now for $80, $90. So we're still under $100.
Yeah. Why do you suppose, we were talking about this earlier, no love for Cable, or what is it?
I don't get it.
Yeah? I
think Cable's a great character. I think he was fantastic in the Deadpool movie with Josh Brolin playing him. I thought he was awesome character.
Sure. So my question was like, well, this isn't really considered the first appearance of Cable because he's a child in this book. And, he doesn't have the little glowy eye and all the stuff, right? So, like, is this really the first Cable? No, it's the first Nathan Summers. Do people just look at it like it's not Cable, so it's not worth as much? I don't know what the psychology is.
That's what I would say that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because another book you have is the first appearance of Cletus Cassidy.
Instead of Carnage, right?
Instead of Carnage, right? The first Cletus Cassidy, that ain't worth nothing. I mean, a 9.8 has, it's worth a couple bucks, sure.
60, 70, $80 maybe.
Nothing compared to the first appearance of Carnage.
Oh, no. When I was tracking down my 361 Amazing Spider-Man first appearance of Carnage, it was hundreds of dollars, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. It was that's a pricey book. But yeah, the first Cletus Cassidy, I mean, yeah, you can get those for super cheap. I didn't even put this on the list. I'm aware of it. I have one. I didn't even put it on here because I don't consider that really a key book.
I mean, by the strictest of definitions, I would say it is, but not one that most people really care that much about.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's along the same lines as the first Nathan Summers. That's my guess as to why it's not really that expensive.
Still, if you're looking for a first appearance book, you can't beat the price at $50.
Yeah.
So this is just a cover. That's all it is, really. I mean, it's not just a cover, but it's just a cover. It's Amazing Spider-Man number 346. It's a Eric Larson Venom cover. It's Venom with the teeth and the slime coming out of his mouth, and you get to see Spider-Man in the eyes, reflected like that old Doc Ock comic that you had on the show a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, he stole his idea.
Stole it stole
it right from John Romita.
Right from Romita. That is a book that you can get in a 9.6 for $48. And for some reason, when you go to 9.8, it shoots up over $100. So you're out of the budget. But I mean, a 9.6 for $48, or a raw, and I'm going to keep preaching this, get the raw books, because you can get a raw copy for probably $5, maybe 10 tops if you're really just looking to grab the first one you see on eBay or whatever. Eric Larson took over Amazing Spider-Man after Todd McFarlane left the title to do Spider-Man. And I think that cover in particular, that Amazing Spider-Man 346, is a better cover than any of the Venom covers that Todd did when he was on the book. And I think it's because they were still trying to decide what this character was and what he looked like. I mean, when Larson did it, the teeth were crazy and the tongue, like, it wasn't quite refined yet until he got hold of it.
That's a bold statement, man.
I love that cover. I think it's awesome.
I mean, I agree. That's a really good cover. And yeah, you see it on t-shirts, you see it on posters.
Yeah.
So definitely iconic cover. Really well done. But yeah, I don't know, man. The McFarlane's his Venom covers were pretty good.
I mean, 316 was Venom's first cover, and that's the one where he's like hunched over Spider-Man. Yeah. That's a good cover, but like Venom was still unrefined at that point. He didn't quite have the snout kind of like jaw thing that he became known for.
Well, I mean, I agree. I think Larson took the Venom character and definitely like elevated it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my number 16. $48 for a 9.6. Grab it while you can, because it's not going to get more affordable. You know what I mean? Next up, number 17, Matt.
All right, for number 17, I have Uncanny X-Men number 150 from 1981. So it's an anniversary issue.
Yeah.
I think it's a key book because just the events that happen in that book. Magneto, he gives his ultimatum to the world. You know, I'm taking over, basically. The Soviets, they don't take too kindly to this, so they send their navy, and this is the issue where Magneto actually pulls the Russian sub out of the water and destroys it, killing the entire crew of this Russian submarine.
As you reminded me when we were talking about it earlier, as seen in the movie.
Yeah, they put that in a movie where he yanks a sub out of the water, and he doesn't kill the entire crew and rips it open and stuff like that because they got to make it PG-13 or whatever to get more butts and seats.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an event that they bring up for years and years and years later. Him killing that crew of the Russian submarine crew, that it haunts him for a long time, and still does. They still bring it up. So yeah, I think that's absolutely a key, and you can get a 9.8 for $100.
Not bad. I mean, number one, it's a Chris Claremont Uncanny X-Men book.
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that every single book that he wrote from issue 94 through about issue, 200 or so. Yeah. I mean, I think he wrote more, of course, but that series of books, for sure, between 94 and about 160, are some of the best books ever written by Marvel. Maybe not of all of comics, but some of the best Marvel books ever written.
Yeah, I think it's probably one of the greatest comic runs ever.
Agreed.
Yeah,
so
fantastic stuff.
It's a key because of that alone. It's a key because it's an anniversary issue. It's a great story that was a significant event in comics, in Marvel comics, and X-Men comics. I agree. That's a good pick. All right, for number 16, I picked Punisher War Journal number 6, and I would call it a low-key book. And by low-key, I mean under the radar, not like a key book, because it is kind of like something you might not initially think is a key. But when I started thinking about it, I was like, wait a minute. This is the first time Punisher and Wolverine ever meet and face off. Not a first appearance, not a death of a character. It's still an event. You know what I mean? Punisher and Wolverine this was in 1989, became like the toast of Marvel throughout the 80s and 90s.
Yeah,
you know what I
those
mean?
guys were on fire back then.
So to me, this is a very significant book, plus a really, really cool Wolverine cover. He's got the claws, and I forget who the artist was on that book, but just a great cover. I've got it in my comic boxes. I love that book. You can pick up a 9/8 for $80 because, again, it's not a super significant key book, but Punisher versus Wolverine, the first time they met, to me, that's a key.
Yeah, definitely. All right, for number 19, we have Tales of the Teen Titans, number 44 from 1984. And this issue, a couple of things happen. A couple of major events happen. It's the first appearance of Jericho.
Okay.
And then this is the issue where Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing.
Wow.
He adopts the Nightwing persona instead of, living in Batman's shadow. He becomes his own hero. But yeah, this was his first appearance of as Dick Grayson as Nightwing. You can get a 9.6 for about $85.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, that's a pretty good amount for just a 9.6. That's a really good grade for the first Dick Grayson as Nightwing. And plus Jericho, who ends up being, son of Deathstroke and ends up betraying them and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I never read that story arc. Again, I'm not a big DC guy, but that's cool. I should check that out.
Yeah.
Speaking of DC, number 20 is up next, and it's another DC book. I can hear the complaints already as we went through the first 15 or so. Like, it's just Marvel. And now we're getting into our DC stride.
We've made it clear several times.
Yeah.
We're primarily Marvel guys.
This is not new information, but there are some DCs on this list. And we got 4 or 5 in a row here. My number 20 pick is Batman number 655. First appearance of Damian Wayne from 2006. 9.6 grade copy of this book, $70. Aside from being the first Damian Wayne, son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Grant Morrison written story, Andy Kubert artwork. I mean, a creative duo amongst creative duos when we're talking about comic books. Yes. So yeah, I mean, I personally never read the book. I was just doing some research on like what would be a good key in this kind of price range, and I stumbled onto that book. I was surprised it was so affordable at $70 for a 9.6. Which, of course, means you get raw copies of this book for certainly under $20 if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my number 20 pick, Batman number 655, first Damian Wayne.
All right, 21 on our list is Crisis on Infinite Earths number 8. And this is from 1985, and it's the death of Barry Allen.
Interesting.
Of course, it's been retconned that he's come back now. But still, I mean, who can forget reading that series? I've read Crisis on Infinite Earths. I mean, I'm not the biggest DC fan, as you could probably tell from our list. But yeah, even I read Crisis on Infinite Earths because that was crazy. Crazy stuff happened at that. And not to mention the death of Supergirl, but that's a pretty high value book.
I was going to say, could you not squeeze in the whichever issue that was with the iconic Superman carrying
Supergirl. holding her dead and him crying and stuff.
George Perez.
George Perez, yes. Yeah. Legendary George Perez. But those books, you'd have to get it at such a low grade. I didn't like a lot. That would put a lot of people off.
Okay.
But yeah, you can get A Death of Barry Allen, a number 8, a 9.8 for about $100.
Wow.
And yeah, if you want to look at it like a 9.0, you're going to be paying way less than that. But this is it was done so well. Such a well done death. But of course, yeah, he's been back. So I'm assuming, again, since they brought him back, this is why the value of this book is where it's at right now.
Still, I mean, that's what you love to see is like, oh, it's cheap now. Okay, I'm going to buy one.
Yeah, it definitely works out well for all of us.
Yeah, for sure. My 11th pick and 22nd pick on the list overall, Hellblazer, number 1. I know Matt is not a big fan of the sorcerers and the magicians of the comic book world, but
really,
I am a big fan of that stuff, and that includes John Constantine. This isn't John Constantine's first appearance, but it is his first issue of a solo book, and it is, if you want to call it a first appearance of a character that doesn't matter, I don't know, Papa Midnight. It was a cool character in the story, but I don't know how much play he's gotten throughout the course of the last 20 or 30 years in comics, honestly. Was he featured in the Keanu Reeves movie? Now that I think about it, I can't remember. I know the Chaz character was, and it was also the first appearance of Chaz in comics as well. But more importantly than everything else, you can get it for relatively inexpensively. I have it at a 9.4 for $92. You could find it for cheaper. That's just the average price on GP Analysis. But yeah, I mean, I love this series. I've read, I didn't, I didn't get to the latter issues that were written by Garth Ennis, which I've been told is where it really takes off. But I've read the first 20 or so issues of this series, and the first story arc, Original Sin, it's great. It's phenomenal. So if nothing else, buy the trade paperback and read it. But if you want a key book for your collection, I say pick up a Hellblazer #1.
All right, for number 23, we have Batman: The Killing Joke from 1988. You can get a first printing at 9.0 for about $100. And remember, this came out with several printings because it was crazy popular. They came out with multiple printings, but this is for a first printing at 9.0 for about $100.
Isn't like there's like a little bit of text on the cover, and it's like a different color for every printing. Like some are green and some are pink and some are yellow. Like it's interesting how they
if you want a 9.8, it's about $200. You can go on there and buy one right now, a 9.8 for about $200. But yeah, for a 9.0, it's about $100. Again, looks really nice, and it's, way cheaper, and a 9.0 is a really presentable book. It's going to look great in your collection. But yeah, that's pretty affordable right there. And such an iconic book too. First printing too. I mean, yeah, I thought that was a really reasonable price.
I have for my last pick, Uncanny X-Men number 244, which for some reason I didn't write the date down on that one. I just have a little blank spot there. So I can't tell you when it came out.
The 90s.
Somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah.
A little bit before the first appearance of Gambit, I guess we could say in that time frame. But this is the first appearance of Jubilee, who's a character that is like kind of lame in terms of like power set and stuff, but I just love the character. I just got the little Marvel Legends action figure of her for my collection.
Didn't they make her a vampire?
Oh gosh, I
think they did at one point. I don't know if they've retconned that since.
I hope not.
The Marvel continuity is in tatters at this point, so I couldn't tell you. But she was a vampire at one point.
When I was a teenager, I was a skateboarding punk rock mall rat, and like I don't know, this character just, even though it was a girl, like just related to me. I was like, yeah, hanging out at the mall, and like she's got the cool glasses and everything. Like I don't know, I just related to it. So yeah, I really like Jubilee. You can get a 9.6 of this book for $75. I mean, and we mentioned the first appearance of Gambit, which is 22 issues later at issue 266. To get a 9.6 of that book would cost you a heck of a lot more money. And I'm not saying that Jubilee is a better character than Gambit or anything, but like, I just think this is a great book.
Sure, yeah. First Jubilee, it's a popular character. She's been around for a while. She's in the X-Men 97 cartoon, which is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, watch it. Watch the original cartoons from 96.
No, those originals were 92 or 93, I think. It ran like 5 seasons.
Well, yeah, but it ends in 96. That's why it's X-Men 97.
If you want to, yeah, sure, okay. I would say it's X-Men 92 and X-Men 97, though.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
Either way.
But yeah, she's in the series. She's a popular character. Yeah, absolutely. Will they do more with her later? Will they introduce her into the movies? Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. She's pretty popular.
I think they had like a little cameo of her in one of the Fox-based X-Men movies. It was like an Asian girl in like a yellow jacket or something. I assumed it was her, but they might not have even named her.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they showed her as one of the kids at the
I think it was just
school.
Yeah, I think it was just one of the kids at the school maybe. But great character, great book, great price. That's my recommendation. And the last one on the list goes to Matt at number 25.
All right, at number 25 is Marvel Team Up number 121.
The biggest key of the list. The best
key of the list.
The best for last.
From 1982. I featured this in my my comic tour highlights. This is the first appearance of Frogman, of course. You can get a 9.6 for about $80, which is an absolute steal.
Considering the overall gravitas of Frogman, you would think that this would be a much more expensive book.
I could not find a 9.8 anywhere.
At all?
At all.
Maybe there isn't one. Maybe nobody's graded one.
When I was looking, unless someone's put one up recently, I couldn't find a 9.8 anywhere.
You should have checked the census to see how many there are. I'd be
I didn't
curious.
think to do that.
That would have been cool.
But yeah, I found several, 9.6s and lower for like 9.6 for $80. Which Frogman. I feel like this is one of those characters that he's going to hit like any minute. Someone's going to decide, you know what? Let's put him in this book. We're going to use him this way or that way, or have him do this, and it's just going to be he's going to explode.
Do you think that they'll use Frogman first in a movie, or do you think they'll use his father? Was Leapfrog? Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe Leapfrog winds up in one of the more soon-to-come movies, and then
having a father as a villain and the son taking up the mantle to redeem his father's name.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, that could be a standalone movie.
They should do it for sure.
Absolutely. You listening, Marvel? Do it.
You will make. I'm gonna conservatively predict box office numbers $1 billion on that.
I'm gonna say you're gonna hit like Morbius numbers.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay, we've laid it on too thick.
Definitely.
We just laid it on too thick.
No, but seriously, I love Frogman. He's a real fun character. He infrequently shows up. You don't see him that often. Very few appearances. He's just this lovable goofball. His heart's in the right place. He tries so hard, but he's just, a goofball. He gets in the way more than he helps. But you know what? He ends up helping him out, in some small way. Every appearance.
All right. Well, that will wrap up this now probably nearly hour long. I can't see the timer from here. Hour long video of our 25. And this isn't the only 25. There's tons of more that probably could exist. You guys leave your suggestions in the comments, please.
We tend to ramble. So.
But yeah, that's 25 suggestions for the people that thought that our previous quote unquote affordable key comic book list was not quite as affordable as they would have liked. Maybe this is more to your speed. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And that'll do it for today. Let me say thanks for tuning in and watching. As always, I appreciate it. And keep collecting comics, keep watching our videos. And until the next one, bye now.
Bye.